Hey all, and welcome to Tytan Wargaming. Today we're going to be going over a few new things that have been happening. Mainly that. So, for those of you who don't know what that is, that is a laser cutter. And over the last month or so, maybe a little bit longer, I've been starting to work on some laser cut projects, and we're going to be starting to be able to sell them. The main one is a massive terrain set that covers everything for Warhammer 40k from the Pariah Nexus mission pack. There's a lot of terrain there. It makes up all of the different versions, and it's pretty easy and quick to put together. It only takes about half an hour, a little bit of super glue, a little bit of filing and sanding, and it's all ready to go. You also have a paintbrush rack. This video is just about showing how they all go together, how quick it is, and then in the future with the terrain pack I'll go through and I'll do another video about how to get it painted up and looking nice on the tabletop. The first thing up is the paintbrush rack. As you can see, it comes on a sprue. We just need to pop all these pieces out. It doesn't take very much. We'll need to then sand off all of the little tabs, and it can all start going together. As well as popping the parts out of the sprue, we also need to get the little circles out of the actual rack itself. I've seen some people keep these to try and use for terrain and stuff like that. Makes some great rubble, get some interesting pieces depending on the parts you're trying to pull out. The rectangular pieces on the side, I find it easier to pop them out with a file, just so you're not hurting your fingers doing it. With all those pieces now popped out, except for that one circle that I missed, we can actually start sanding back or filing. I use a file here because I like that a file is reusable. You just clean it up and keep going rather than throwing out sanding sticks. Onto the glue, I'm using a wood glue here. Super glue is a lot better most of the time, but I wanted to show that this can actually be done with wood glue. Unlike me, you've just got to make sure you're not trying to twist it around to weird angles so that a camera can see it. Because as you will see shortly, sometimes it starts to fall apart. I also don't know why my hand shakes so much when I do that. The two parts that have holes in them, one has a big cutout in the center and one has a small one. You need to make sure the one with the bigger cutout is the one that you're going to put in the middle of the rack. The one with the small cutout is for the very top, and that is important for the front panel to fit on. The front panel adds a lot of the stability to this rack to stop it from bending and twisting when you're just trying to use it normally. One of the reasons I like to use wood glue for this rack in particular is because the way it goes together, the wood glue gives it a little bit of space where it can slide. Super glue will almost instantly bond. So if you don't have everything lined up properly, you will get stuck with it not going together well. And when you're putting it together, make sure that the bottom tab, the middle tab, and the front top tab all line up correctly. Like I said, that's where the stability comes from in this rack. We really need that. And yes, you can see there is a little bit of slipping and stuff falling out of holes because wood glue takes longer to cure. As long as you handle it carefully, you'll be okay. Just keep an eye on it. With the wood glue as well, if you do get a little bit of seepage as you put together all the joints, you can just wipe them off with some paper towel or a tissue or something. It's not going to cause any lasting issues. And with the top going on, that just leaves the front panel. Be careful when you're putting this on. It is easier to stand it up upright while you're doing it. I of course have to lean it over the camera, which means that I'm going to get some stuff falling out of holes again. Just like that. When you do finally get into a good position though, and get some glue on there, that front panel will just slide straight on. And that's it. It only takes a couple of minutes. And I really like the way the design comes together. We can customize this as well. The etching that's on there is just some baseline etching that I'd done up. But we can put almost any symbol or text on there that will fit. It's not hard for us to change. It will just cost a couple of extra dollars. onto the terrain, and all of these go together very much in a similar way. Once you've put the first one together, you know how to put all the rest of them together. So I'll show the first one here, and then we'll kind of just skip over the rest. It's take the pieces out of the sprue, same as the brush rack. The tabs are exactly the same. Sand them off, and then we'll be ready for assembly. And again, I'm using a file here. The only difference with the assembly is because this is a little bit larger and a little bit more fiddly, I'm going to use super glue. Super glue will almost bond instantly, so you need to make sure that you have dry fit everything and that everything is lined up where you need it. Also make sure that you've got the right side of the panel facing out. Some of these ones that I'm putting together here are the prototypes, so the etching's on the wrong side. The etching should always be facing, or the engraving around the window should always be facing the outside of the building. I do occasionally make a little mistake, like putting the super glue on the wrong side there, but it still goes together okay. The tabs should all slot in, and it goes together. The entire set, like I said, takes less than half an hour. When I put this set together for this video, it took me about 20 minutes total. Once you've got the walls of the building assembled, all that's left is to put a little bit of glue on the bottom and slot it onto the base. The tabs on the base are all lined up so that they'll fit only in the one direction. So you shouldn't have too many issues with it as long as you're not messing around with which base goes with which building. There we have it, the first building together in no time flat. All that's left now is to do the rest of the set. And there we go, that's the paintbrush rack and the terrain set all assembled. Like I said, I'll be doing a video on how to actually paint the terrain set. For now, links will be in the description once stuff goes on sale. I may be putting this video up a day or two before that actually happens. Check my social media, links will also be for that in the description. In the meantime, have a good one.